So today, boys, we are going to be looking at reworking another champion I've had a soft spot for a long time before I learned he was an absolute dud, and that is Agent Venom. Because Agent Venom, if you look at him and you look at his animations, for an old champion, he is very cool, and he has a very cool history. He's basically a Venom symbiote on like a military style outfit. So he's like a Venom if he worked for the military. And Flash Thompson, who's obviously the bully who bullied Peter Parker, has finally been able to, like, you know, use it to his advantage, and it's working with him now. So he's a hero using the Venom symbiote, and his suit just looks so cool. His animations look really cool. They're pretty smooth, you know, moves and everything. Has Falcon's heavy attack. And yeah, I think he just deserves a lot more than he has, and he's just a very, very outdated champion. So today, we're going to try and rework this guy, give him an overhaul, and give him some justice, because genuinely, I think he has a lot of potential to be a decent champion. So to start off with Agent Venom's buff concept / overhaul for 2021, we're going to be looking at his ability against Spider-Verse champions, because as I thought, just like Venom, this guy should have the ability to counter Spider-Verse champions due to the Venom symbiote. So first of all, his basic attacks and special attacks cannot be evaded by Spider-Verse champions due to his enhanced Venom symbiote. So this is exactly like Venom, which can make him a great counter against Spider-Verse champions. And yeah, very, very good little piece of utility right there. He'll also have a 75% chance to evade special attacks when blocking against Spider-Verse champions. So this is also a really helpful, so he can stop champions from evading, and he can also have a backup evade, just like a lot of Spider-Verse champions, and this will just be, you know, another bonus he has against Spider-Verse champions, just like I gave Ultron ability against metal champions like Magneto. You know, I think this guy should have even bigger advantage against Spider-Verse champions. Then next we have another evade mechanic ability in his set, which is that he has a 100% chance to evade unblockable specials when Venom Armor is at 100%, and this scales accordingly with the percentage increase in his armor. So basically, as we go on, I'll talk to you about his Venom Armor and how this helps him gain attack rating, you know, defensive abilities, ability accuracy reduction, all this stuff. And yes, it also scales with his evade chance, which will be at complete 100% when he's facing unblockable specials. So yeah, it's another nice little thing on top of that. Now, before we go into too much detail, let's just have a little look at what the Venom Symbiote armor can help with his abilities. So first of all, it's going to grant increased attack rating on scaling. Second, it's going to grant increased shrug-off ability on scaling, just like right now, he has that very high chance, you know, to purify debuffs. And third, it grants increased chance to evade on scaling, just as I said before, and it also decreases ability accuracy on opponents on scaling. So this is all to do with scaling, and once he reaches that 100%, he's not going to fall back down like Punish 2099 or anything. He's going to be at the very top. Now, you may be wondering, how does Agent Venom reach 100% in his symbiote armor? So, to increase this, first of all, it is increased by 40% when an enemy throws a special attack. So, if they throw a special attack, you're going to go up by 40% instantly. It also increases by 4% for each basic attack landed on the opponent. So, if you do 5 hits, so a combo, normal combo, 5-hit combo he has, then that will go up to 20%. And then this is also increased by 10% per hit of heavy attack. And as his heavy attack does 2 hits on it, it's going to go up by 20%. So the ideal rotation to reach this 100% charged Venom Armor / ideal outcome would be to do 2 5-hit combos, which will put your Venom Armor to about 40% after 2 20%. Then you bait out an enemy special attack, which will increase it by another 40% to 80%, and then throw 1 heavy attack to reach that 100% armor, because you've got the 20% plus the 8%, which equals 100%. Now, when Agent Venom is at 100% charged Venom Armor, he is going to go into his Clintar Rage, which is the name of his old awakened ability. Now, let's take a look at the defensive bonuses you will gain when you're in your Clintar Rage. So first of all, you have a 100% chance to auto-evade unblockable specials, 100% chance to shrug off all damaging debuff / damage over time effects So basically it's tenacity, however it's a higher chance. So if you start off the fight, you're going to have a very low chance to shrug off debuffs, but however, as the fight goes on, your chance to shrug off debuffs will increase and increase until you'll be able to shrug all of them off indefinitely. You'll have 75% physical resistance and 50% energy resistance due to your Venom Armor. You'll take minus 25% projectile-based damage, and you will have a minus 100% ability accuracy reduction against your enemies when at this final stage. So this scales appropriately, so each time you go up by 1% in your Venom Armor, you're reducing their ability accuracy by 1%. So yeah, it scales very nicely, and these defensive bonuses are going to help you a lot with sustainability and also keeping up with those damaging debuffs on you. Now, as for the attacking bonuses, all of you Agent Venom fans will be very happy to say, or to see more specifically, that I have given him a 200% increased damage on top of his base when he's at this point, which means he's going up for about 2% increased damage for every percentage of his Venom Armor. He also has a 100% increased crit rate and damage on top of his base crit rate, so that's going up by 1% each time. All of his hits have a 100% chance to place a Venom Blast on the opponent, which is indefinite until detonated via the SP2 on the second hit, and we'll go into more detail shortly in what those Venom Blasts do and how important they'll be in his rotation. But more importantly, I'll just say that Venom Blasts do not deal any damage until detonated, but they do have a chance to passively stun the enemy for 1.5 seconds. So now we've looked at some of his defensive and offensive abilities, let's look at what his special attacks can do if you were updated. So first of all, the SP1 now can place a 5-second bleed on the opponent for each projectile bullet hit. So there's 3 times gunshots I've calculated in his special attack on his SP1, which is going to equal 3 bleeds. And this is very important to the rotation, I'll tell you later again though. These can be refreshed by using a heavy attack, so as you may be thinking, the bleeds can stack up very nicely. Also, this special attack isn't very key to the rotation, but it can be very helpful for maintaining and sustaining those bleeds. Now, as you can probably tell from the amount of writing there is for the SP2, this one is the big one. So first of all, the first hit of this SP2 has a 100% chance to place a disorient debuff on the opponent. So this is when he kicks upwards, and this will last 5 seconds, which also means that the opponent has a reduced chance to evade easily, and so it has an easier chance to land, which is very important. The second hit, however, which is the projectile bomb, detonates all Venom Blasts on the opponent on contact and places a 10-second incinerate, which deals bonus damage per tick equivalent to each Venom Blast potency. So this is going to be a massive detonation, but if it's against a incinerate immune champion, it's going to deal bonus damage. And as I said before, the SP2 is where the Mega Damage is at, with a huge Venom Blast bomb detonation and insane incinerate damage. This will really rack up, and I'll go into more detail in a sec once again about the Venom Blasts, because they are very important for racking up that damage. And as for the SP3, as we all know, this one, in the animation, he just gets a bunch of guns out, throws you on a web, and just absolutely massacres. So I thought, well, this should definitely place tons of bleeds. So first of all, it's going to place 10 mini bleeds on the opponent, and they won't last too long, but you can refresh them by using a heavy attack, and that is very important. So you can keep up these bleeds for as long as you can get that heavy attack off, and the damage over time is going to be absolutely insane. And just to reiterate, his heavy attack refreshes all bleeds on the opponent for 10 seconds, and this is a very important part of keeping up the damage over time effects on him, and yeah, that bleed will do a lot of damage. Now, his Venom Armor's passive ability acts as a passive armor up, which is obviously very helpful for preventing Havoc's plasma detonation damage, but it cannot be staggered or armor broken as it is a passive ability, so it'll just be like a little black symbol, sort of like a Venom Armor symbol, which will represent this passive armor, just like Magneto is magnetized, or anyone else who has a passive ability. So it's just going to make them a great counter for characters like Havoc and champions that will armor rake you. And his armor up is only at 100% when his armor is at 100%. So he has to reach that 100% first to have that armor up ability. So his debuffs he will have are very similar to before, but some new ones. We have Bleed, Incinerate, Venom Blast, and Disorient. As for his buffs, we have the Venom Armor passive, and that's all he needs. This contains all his abilities for his shrug off capabilities, for that physical resistance, for that energy resistance, and for that great counter to Havoc with the armor up. So yeah, buffs are limited, but all he needs is that armor up. And just a quick little thing, Venom Charges increase attack rating and defense abilities as it scales. So it reaches a maximum potential at 100% charges, but it is always continuously scaling, which means that he is never going to be at a stage like Punisher 2099 where he has no damage, and also his damage, once it's reached its max, it will stay at that for the rest of the fight until it's finished. So it will never drop again, and this is just great for his stability, obviously. Now, just in case I confused everybody about the Venom Blast abilities, I'll just go over them one more time. I think I forgot them in the official spreadsheet, but I'll just make sure to go over them right now. Basically, they're an indefinite debuff which are placed on the opponent by using basic attacks, and they have the chance for you to place them on the opponent is increased each time that you go up with your Venom Armor. So when it's at 100%, you're going to be placing them all the time. And they cannot be shrugged off because they are passive. They also do not deal any damage to the opponent when placed, but they do deal damage when detonated via the SP2 on the second hit when the bomb lands. So yeah, they're not going to deal damage over time effects because you've already got the bleeds for that. However, there is no cap or limit to these debuffs, so they can be stacked tons and tons, and then you can have a massive detonation, which is going to be very satisfying, I can imagine. And yeah, this plus the bleeds and the incinerate is going to mean that there's going to be tons of damage over time, and explosive bursts of damage, which can be dealt with this new champion. So there you have it. Those are my new ideas for Agent Venom buff concept and his new abilities. I knew I haven't gone over a few things like his awakened ability or as in depth as I did last time with Ultron with some certain things, but I feel like it's good enough right now. And yeah, I'm really excited to get on with the Moon Knight buff concept because that has a lot of potential as well. But I hope you guys really enjoy this video and agree with some of my choices for his abilities. And I think this could be a very solid upgrade, giving him those defensive abilities which he already had to make him an annoying defender, but also to make him an extremely good attacker, which is much more important because people want to be able to use this guy, not just put him on Alliance Wall Defense or just have him on an annoying node in Act 7. So yeah, he's still going to have that tenacity ability. The shrug off is going to be an insane part of his rotation and his abilities because he's a skilled champion, and the bleeds are also very necessary for him to fit in as a top tier skill champion. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment saying what your ideas are for my buff concept. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And yeah, the constructive criticism I'll always be happy to take. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate all the support as always. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.